Oh my god, this was... Oh my god. Oh, fuck. Well, I don't know how many times I died. But goddamn, that was, That final... Whew, boy. I feel like I just need to make a video now. You know, just a video to showcase what kind of fucking hell I just...
Really?
What?
You're not even gonna ask who I am?
What are you?
You know what? The shtick has been done so many times before, it doesn't even matter if you get it or not.
What?
Listen, all I'm here is to tell you that your upload schedule isn't up to our standards.
What?
If you want to grow your channel and get somewhere on this site, you need to get a better upload schedule. Right now, your viewers would be lucky if you got a video out once a month.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I just got here.
No, but you've been here since the end of April 2013. I guess you hadn't started uploading until about 4 months ago.
What the hell are you talking about?
Language!
Anyways, I just wanted to pop by and remind you about the Seal the Deal review thing you've been talking about.
I haven't forgotten the video, but thanks. I mean, I still have time to make the video. The next update hasn't even been shown off yet.
It comes out soon.
What?
I don't care, just wanted to tell you something so you'd move your ass and do something for once in your life. I don't know. Hopefully this will push you to upload more. Chit-chat to you later.
Oh no. So, this has been a long time coming. No one except myself cared about this video at all, but whatever, I guess. I guess to make a quick rundown as to what this video is about, Seal the Deal is the added DLCs to the game A Hat in Time. From the Steam store page, it advertises itself to introduce an all-new chapter entitled The Arctic Cruise, a new challenge mode called Death Wish, 6 new time rifts, and a whole lot of new outfits, flares, dyes, and camera filters. Additionally, split screen co-op was released alongside as a free update to the game. The last part wasn't important to the video, I just wanted to point it out. Currently, as of recording this, the game sits at a mixed rating of 333 reviews. I don't think I need to point out how this game can be seen as stirred. Okay, this is awful. Look, the base game has an overwhelmingly positive score. The DLC that adds new shit shouldn't be this low. Though that begs the question, why? Well, here's what I think of it. The base game is primarily seen as a casual platformer. That's not to say it doesn't pick up its pace here and there, but for the most part, it's an easy to digest game that doesn't delve too far into Kaizo land. That's not to say that Gears for Breakfast, developers of this game, don't see the speedrunning community that this game has spawned. Adding an in-game timer and option to skip normally non-skippable cutscenes, the game is friendly for this prominent, though small crowd. With the new DLC, the game aims more towards the crowd who wants a, I don't know what to call it, Dark Souls experience? Yeah, sure, let's go with the journalist lingo, you dumb fucking brainlet. Seal the Deal even mentions in its description that the challenge mode is, and I quote, exceptionally, brutally difficult. But even if Death Wish is deviating from the base game, the rest of the DLC is less of a cakewalk and more of a leisurely stroll through a pathway of hot coals. Before I get into the new chapter, however, there is a new purple time rift added into the attic. Appropriately named Tour, the rift has you exploring little bit-sized zones in chapter 1 through 5, usually including a small chunk of what was included in that level, such as lava flooring from Mafia Town, or somehow condensing the entirety of Alpine Skyline into one section. I like what this level is trying to accomplish, and it pulls off its idea rather well. The storybook at the end is also a nice addition, giving some backstory to Mustache Girl, a character who really needed more development in my eyes. And since we're on the topic of purple time rifts, let's get the community ones out of the way. Death Wish, while normally brutally difficult, has 3 rifts mixed in without the typical shit. That's not to say they're easy, but compared to everything else, the community time rifts are a nice breather in contrast to all the shit. Each level has a theme or idea centered around each rift, whether it's utilizing the Dweller mask and platforms, ringing bells to spawn the exits, or the beat of the music affecting platforms appearing and disappearing. Much like the Tor rift, there's not much to complain about. They're good levels with well-executed ideas and offer a much-needed change of pace from the rest of Deathwish. Anyways, now that that's out of the way, let's talk about the new chapter, the Arctic Cruise. We're given a total of 3 new acts along with the new balcony and deep sea time rifts. We start off our adventure outside of the ship with a plethora of characters from previous chapters who will be joining us on this maiden voyage. It isn't until one of the timepieces is crushed underneath a seal's lifetime supply of XXX magazines and shards of glass are thrown across the ship somehow. This level serves as a passive exploration attempt, urging the player to explore this vast and confusing layout. And while I enjoy the level, there's one major flaw with it. This is the only level like this. This problem will become more apparent with the second act, in which you must now navigate this confusing labyrinth of confusion with a malfunctioning Stanley Parable adventure line that serves the role of being the chapter's main antagonist. That last part was me being sarcastic, but honestly this line could be scrapped and nothing would be changed, mainly because it doesn't work half the time. And while I could ramble on about some arrows on the ground for the next hour and a half, I'm instead going to switch my attention to the main objective of this level. That being a collection of quest missions happening all at once where you have to take A to B in a certain amount of time or else Grandpa will realize his medication stopped working. And while I'll be talking more about this later on in the video, I need to say this right now. Relying on random chance doesn't make your objective more challenging, it just makes it more bullshit. One of the new features that Seal the Deal adds is the new carrying mechanic. Instead of only being able to carry one thing at a time, you can now carry as many things to your heart's desire, but with the drawback of becoming the living incarnate of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. The more items you carry, the worse your movement becomes, with Hackett steering either to the left or right the taller your stack is, and if it's really large, you'll break your back and have chronic pain for the next couple seconds. Add this on with the cruise ship, a movement-heavy location, and I think it's fair to say that this level isn't very fun. But really, a large portion as to why this level is disappointing to me is the lack of time the player gets when it comes to exploring the ship. I don't think anyone will deny me on this, but the Arctic Cruise is way too short. With less acts than Alpine Skyline, one level somewhat teaches the layout of the ship, the other then immediately requires the player to understand this labyrinth of a level while doing mental chores all at the same time, and finally, after all this confusion, the last chapter then decides to rotate the whole ship 80 degrees on its side. There's a reason why I only played the last act 3 times, once on my first playthrough, another to get all the collectibles thrown throughout the level, and the final time to get the gameplay footage you're seeing right now. The reason for this is because, well, Lactac simply sucks. The carrying mechanic comes back and is more annoying than ever. Not only that, but the floor is now 50% freezing water. With both their powers combined, this makes quite possibly the most frustrating finale this game has to offer. And since the ship's been turned on its side, an idea that I do like, it only makes everything more disorienting. Honestly, I think the final act should have been taken away entirely and been replaced with the Blue Time Rift balcony. One of the main gimmicks of this level relies on the sliding mechanic, something that existed in the game before but never used effectively. It's something that was fun, and the only disappointment I had with this level is that it ended too soon. That's not me saying the level was short, but instead hoping that this idea is expanded upon in the next update in some way. Hell, design the entire chapter based off this idea. I can see a lot of things coming from this. Anyways, as a way to stop jerking off a single level, the Purple Time Rift was equally interesting. I won't deny it's difficult, especially looking at the last zone, but the Deep Sea Rift is pretty fun. Being much bigger than the Purple Rifts that came before it, there's not only a lot of interesting platforming, but the level itself was beautiful. The underwater theme is well made, with a color palette to go along with it. This rift is much more difficult though, and I won't deny the first time playing through it, I skedaddled out of there once I collected all the storybook pages. Speaking of which, the storybook was great. I won't spoil it here, but there's thousands of videos out there if you're that interested. Overall, I enjoyed this Purple Time Rift. Now, before I get into Deathwish, I feel like I should get the cosmetics out of the way first. Mostly because they're the least interesting part of this update to me. Don't get me wrong, they're great, but they're not what I myself personally would like to focus on. So here's a quick rundown of every new flare, badge, and costume added into Seal the Deal. Adorable, epic, where's the rats? Yo ho ho, I have PTSD. Literal trash. Watson, where's my pipe? Posh and delightful. 8-bit, 8-bit. 8-bit world. It's not raining. There's no band. Minecraft reference.
I am god.
YouTube 2006. The darkness ate the glitter. Oh god, this is weird.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Who said that?
I said that. Hello. Hello. What? Seen a talking door frame before? Are they a common occurrence for you that you're no longer phased?
I just met a talkie rectangle a few minutes ago who said I've been moving this one box for months. Also, there's been this table that won't stop following me around. Have you always been there?
Yes.
Okay then. Hey, where's the exit?
Yeah.
God damn it.
What?
Nothing. It doesn't matter. Can I please just get back into my review analysis thing without any more interruptions?
Maybe.
Anyways. Wait, it feels like I forgot something. Fuck it, let's just move on to Death Wish. The meat to this update stems from the brutally difficult challenge mode properly named Death Wish, including a mix between remix levels, candles, and the previously mentioned community time rifts. There's a lot to unpack from this one add-on. Each Death Wish has a main objective with 2 bonuses added on. These bonuses can include doing a level faster, equipping a one-hit badge, collecting tokens, etc, etc. Basically, if you hated the Death Wish before, then you're really going to hate playing it a second time. Unless of course you turn on peace and tranquility. I mean, come on. Where's the fun in that?
Hey, this is a no judgment zone, you prick.
To avoid any more rambling, let's start with the first Death Wish, Beat the Heat. If you fail to understand this level, and more respectively, the entirety of what Death Wish is, then this level may start out rather mundane. Much like the original, your main objective is to turn off all the faucets that are spewing out lava all over Mafia Town. However, the twist here is that Hackett will slowly overheat and take damage unless she periodically cools off in pools of water. Compared to every other Death Wish, I want to say this is the best one to start off with. It allows the player to stop and think what their next move is going to be, and allows them to take it slow the first time through. And it isn't until they beat the level until they realize they have to do the whole thing again, but this time only cooling off twice. It gives the player a crutch while also giving them an Indian burn afterwards, which is why I think this is the best Death Wish to start off with. Unlike the next challenge, where going slowly can cause a concussion if you just so happen to be standing under one of those UFO fuckers. So You're Back from Outer Space, while still a decent level, more or less shows the consistent theme throughout Death Wish. Simply take a level, but make it harder. Yeah, that's kind of the point, but I think you can make any level hard if you extend the time it takes to complete it while throwing enemies all over the place. Also rockets. Just throw some rockets in there because why not? There's not much else to add to this level other than that she came from outer space, which is repeated multiple times throughout Death Wish. I'm just gonna put a pin in this topic right now though, because I want to direct my attention to a far more surprising challenge this update brings. Because Collect-a-thon on paper doesn't sound like it'd be that difficult of a level. Running around trying to collect 100 pawns in a town that's pretty much full of them sounds like a throwaway challenge. That is until the lowering pawn count catches your attention and suddenly real shit begins. Losing 1 pawn every few seconds means there's no time to waste, and opening safes and saving specific coffee clerks from the Mafia are absolutely necessary to complete this level. Out of the entirety of Death Wish, this was the one that caught me off guard the most and genuinely surprised me, unlike Vault Codes in the Wind, which required the player to collect 4 tickets floating around the map. Here's the general idea for this challenge. Collect some pieces of paper with tiny hitboxes that are moving around sporadically with a 30-second time limit for each scrap. It's like trying to catch a mouse with your bare hands, though probably more sanitary. The bonuses somewhat save this level, as one of them make it so that you can't stop the flow of time, while the other has you finding the time to defeat 10 Mafia. But these 2 bonuses can't fix what this level is, an annoyance. Much like how the repeating of She Came From Outer Space is repeated 2 more times. I honestly don't know why she speedran from outer space is here in the first place. The closest time you can possibly get is 1 minute and 20 seconds, though unlike other speedrun stages where the stakes are on the line and any fuck-ups could cost the whole run, she speedran just isn't that challenging. Honestly, the Death Wish one to be more of a challenge, perhaps make it shorter than my thoughts on this damn thing, because right now the Mafia is terrified of the mud monster and I'm already moving on to the more interesting variant of this level. Mafia Jumps has a really good idea that was executed well from beginning to end. The minimum amount of jumps it takes to complete the level is around 5 to 11 jumps. That is, unless you know about the ice hat mechanic, which brings Hackett up a few inches into the air without counting as a full jump. Combine that with the weird way the no bonk badge works, and what you have is a level that acts much like its predecessor, but presents a challenge that's, while not overly difficult, asks something from the player. Also, there's no missiles. Which reminds me, why is there a lock-on missile system in Security Breach that isn't informing the guards? All bad jokes aside though, out of all the levels I replayed, this was the one I went back to most often. It's a level that's really difficult the first time around, especially at the end, but once when you find out the ice hat is OP, it gets really easy. And once you find out about the 2 really easy skips that go over 2 bill charges and skip the last part entirely, it's pretty much a cakewalk. But really, it's not that this level is easy, it's that Security Breach is fun. Unlike the Great Big Houdini, which was a level I lacked the empathy from not only from the original version, but the Death Wish incarnation as well. This was one of my least personal favorites. Walking around avoiding the assholes on your back for 10 minutes isn't fun when one of the bonuses make it so if you get hit once, you'll have to restart from the very beginning. Honestly, take away the other 49 band members and make it just the one, because that's the real challenge here. Also, those groove tokens spawning randomly throughout the map is really fun. I love avoiding the main task at hand to end the level faster, only to stop and make it go for longer than it needed to go on for. But then again, would I rather let this level go on forever, or would I rather have 10 seconds until the whole set self-destructs? Train Rush was one of my favorite levels in the base game, and 10 seconds is still one of my favorites despite the complete and utter mess it became. I don't know why, but even when this level was forcing me to equip the normal hat and the one-hit hero badge, part of the reason why I like this level but not the Big Houdini comes from the amount of time it takes to restart a level. No, I'm not talking about the reset times, I'm talking about the attempt times. If you've ever played Death Wish before, I'm guessing this level has the highest death count, and I don't think anyone's surprised about that. But this level was made to ram your head into over and over again, something that I enjoy doing both while playing this game and in real life. Also, it doesn't go on for 10 minutes when a good portion is spent walking around doing basically nothing. Unlike Speedrun Well, where there's no time to stop because you have only a minute and 25 seconds to complete the level. Out of all the speedrun courses Death Wish has to offer, this was probably my favorite. It's not easy as eating a slice of pie like she speedran from outer space, and it's short unlike the other speedrun level that I'll be getting into in a little bit. The platforming, especially in the well, is challenging but not to the point where it felt impossible to complete, unlike Boss Rush at times. I'm going to be completely blunt here, I hate the final fight between Hat Kid and Mustache Girl. It's not that the fight isn't good, because it is. I hate it due to the glitches and problems it has. All the other bosses are fine for the most part, but this one little shit cake keeps clipping into the ground and falling out of existence. Sure, not missing a chance to hit sounds easy on paper, but when the last boss can end it all, it pisses me off when this happens. Which is sad because Boss Rush is an interesting challenge. It's just brought down by the fact that Mustache Girl gained so much power she realized she's in a video game and is using glitches to make sure you can never win. Unlike Snatcher, who just wants to spend some quality time with you. This is a level I really enjoyed. Is it difficult? For me, no. But the Snatcher fight was really fun, and having to survive for 6 minutes while the attacks come at you faster and faster keeps the fight interesting. As you may have noticed, I'm not a huge fan of levels that feel as if they go on for long periods of time, but if it's executed well, then it gets a pass like the birds in Bird Sanctuary. The idea of this level is that for every bird you kill, you lose 1 heart of health. There are no health puns anywhere, and there are hazards everywhere. Pushy crows can be both a blessing and a... And you know what? That's just fine. I have mixed feelings about this level. Killing the 6 hidden mafia located around the map is an interesting idea for a level where killing is strictly prohibited, but at the same time I hate dying at the end because one terrorist egg decided to cuck me from jumping onto the big boy. You know, after completing all the bonuses, this level sure did make me feel wound up like a windmill. Like most levels that ask challenging but doable platforming that requires precision timing, I have to give this level a yes. I don't have much to say about the windmill other than that I found the one-hit badge and no hat abilities bonus to be more infuriating than a Train Rush variant, despite the fact I died far fewer times in this level than I did in the other. Now before I get into the next Death Wish, here's a message from our sponsors.
Has your kid come down with a nasty flu? Is it something that doctors and medical professionals claim to have found a cure to, but it requires them to get vaccinated? Well, don't worry, because we have a solution for you. It's called the Illness to Speedrun, a wonderful new cure given by our most trustworthy alternate medicine professionals. All your kid has to do is run to the top of 3 mountain peaks to kill a couple purple plants, and then and only will your kid be cured of the measles and polio. Also, it has to be done in a matter of 6 minutes or less. Good luck. It definitely won't come down to the wire multiple times. And now, back to our regular scheduled programming.
Anyways, the last normal death wish that isn't centered in a general theme is the Mustache Gauntlets. A level that goes on for way too long, where too many things could go wrong, and fuck it, you know what? Don't try to do both bonuses at the same time. That's just... Don't attempt to kill these enemies without the Burning Hat and Laser Umbrella badge if you're trying to not get burnt. And pray that your homing attack works for Pushy Crows if you're going for the other one. As you might have guessed, I'm not a huge fan of this one either. Again, because of how long it goes on for. But with that, the quote-unquote normal death wishes are done. Let's move on to the bosses. Hey, remember when the Mafia boss was by far the easiest one in the game? Remember that time you didn't have reoccurring flashbacks of sandbags falling from the sky? Well, if you ever play the X version of the Mafia boss fight, then join the club. I enjoyed this fight and its one-hit bonus, but my god, whoever came up with the idea of sandbags falling from the sky in random locations, their hack kid, fuck you. But whoever's idea was to pin the player up against both the conductor and grooves at the same time, you did a good job. You did a very good job. Thank you. Thank you, because killing 2 birds is probably my favorite Death Wish boss fight out of all of them. The complete and utter chaos that happens during this fight, I mean, just look at it. Look at it. Fucking look at it! The original Battle of the Birds fight was okay, but this is great. I love this fight. I have nothing else to say about it other than fuck the cars. Also the murder routes at the end. Also stage lights can eat a dick. Actually, you know what? This level is bullshit. I hate it. But that was a lie because it's great. I love this level. I love this level. Unlike breaching the contract, which is okay. Snatcher's fight was good except for a 3-ring fire attack, but overall it's a good fight for Snatcher. That is if I was just talking about the normal fights. The no blue potions fight though was less than glory. Throughout the fight, Snatcher has 5 different attacks you can use, 2 of which can be used to cause damage. However, only one of these attacks drop a blue potion. And with 8 health, the fight not only lasts as long as quality time with Snatcher, but it's more difficult as well. Picking up and throwing blue potions when the next attack is happening is painful, and not in a good way. Almost makes me kinda happy that he was one of the characters Mustache Girl wanted to kill for being a bad guy. Now I'm going to be completely honest here. Is this fight still buggy? Yeah, Mustache Girl still has a tendency to clip into the ground, and that's not a good thing, obviously. However, that's not to say it's a bad fight per se. Really, if these bugs were fixed, then the Mustache Girl fight would be even better, because the fight itself is really good. I love how, despite the ending being less chaotic, it's still a threat due to the absence of constant healing. I don't hate Mustache Girl's boss fight, it's just being held back by things that could be patched. Maybe. I don't know. I don't make games, so what do I know? I'm just a guy who talks a lot and is really bad at transitions. Hey, did you know that Death Wish has candles? These wicks of pain and suffering aren't levels themselves, but instead to be used in separate levels throughout both the base game and Death Wish if you feel like it, I guess. You can light them at any time, though depending on the candle it can either cause no change whatsoever, or they can cost you your life. For instance, the 0 jump candle. Remember Mafia jumps? You know how the original challenge was to beat the level in 7 jumps or less? Well, guess what? This candle will cause death instantly if you so dare graze upon the spacebar. Going back and deciding which levels to use the candle adds a whole new view onto what is and isn't possible in this game. While there are multiple different levels you can use this candle on, the ones I chose were as follows. Train Rush, because that's one of the bonuses. Welcome to Mafia Town, mail delivery service, and your contract has expired. Yeah, that one where the Snatcher is trying to kill you. And yes, I didn't half-ass it. Okay, maybe I half-assed it, but there are videos online of other people doing it, and at the end of the day, I really don't care. But the one thing I like about this candle is that it's the only one that can be relit after completing all the main objectives and still work. For example, Snatcher's hit list, where the main goal is to kill 5 Mafia without getting punched, which is why I guess the cardboard die is given to you instead of the sweet nostalgia badge. Dress yourself up as trash because you don't deserve cool things. But in all seriousness, I do like this candle, especially since it made me think of not only all the killable enemies in the game, but where they were located as well. Much like the Snatcher coins that are thrown around each act for the player to find. I really like this little add-on. It gives the original level some replay value much more than that of the previous candles. I also hate them because they can't be redone, so I had to replay Death Wish all over again. Woohoo. Just to get through this quickly, here's what I think of each Snatcher coin. Good spot. Really? Okay. Easy. What, are you kidding me? Okay, that's interesting. Of course, it was here. This one was a real trickster, I'm not gonna lie. Up on the housetop, reindeer paws. Out jumps good old Santa Claus. I can see my house from here. Okay, this is on the main path. Are you kidding me? Windy today, eh? But yeah, this was a good addition that really fits with Death Wish. Unlike Camera Tourist, because that's just, Honestly, while going around and taking pictures of enemies and producing unflattering screenshots of Snatcher is entertaining, in my eyes it's the most confusing Death Wish. It's comparable to Snatcher's hit list, but more questionable. I don't know. I mean, I guess replaying the award ceremony and Time's End for a second bonus can be seen as challenging. Unless, of course, you've got a big brain that's 1,000 light years ahead of mine and you skip to the Death Wish variants to get your pictures that way, but you know what? The tourist is wearing socks and sandals, so that's why this challenge exists. The rift collapses are a nice addition to Death Wish, and I enjoy them very much. The one thing that these levels are criticized for is that after dying 3 times in a row on these levels, they toss you out and are locked for the next 5 minutes. Previously, before an update that took this feature away, all Death Wishes had this feature and made some challenges very bad. But thankfully, these 5 levels were left with this curse, which is unfortunate. If this limitation was taken away entirely, then these levels would be 10 out of 10, except not really, because there's no way something can be that perfect. Also, yes, the Deep Sea variant was brutal the first time playing it, but man up and take it like a champ. Anyways, on to the final Death Wish. Seal the Wait a minute. It feels like I'm forgetting something. Oh. Oh no. Oh no!
You're feeling lucky. You're feeling lucky. You're feeling lucky. Lucky.
I saved this Death Wish until the almost very end just so I could tear into it. Through some patches and refining to make ship shape less of a pain to new players and more of a level someone would want to play, I'm almost certain Cruising for a Bruisin' received none of this treatment. The one positive thing I can say about it is that it took away that godforsaken line, but as they taketh away, another problem comes to take its place. Something that in my eyes is the biggest issue with this hellscape of a Death Wish. Remember when I said this? Relying on random chance doesn't make your objective more challenging, it just makes it more bullshit. Cruising for a Bruisin' is nothing but RNG garbage. Some runs are near impossible to complete due to the large number of tasks spawning all at once in a completely random order. Combine that with the fact you're going to be carrying more stuff than before means you can kiss controlling where you want to go goodbye. And just to rub more salt on the wound, it takes about 20 minutes to complete the stage. It's a level that goes on for ages and you have no control over whether you're going to complete it or not. For some Death Wishes, there is RNG, but Cruising for a Cruisin' is the only challenge where it's designed to be that way, and it fucking sucks. However, there is one saving grace from not only this monstrosity of a Death Wish, I can only verify it because of a glitch that caused all music to cut out from this level. The music to this level makes the whole thing much more stressful, which I guess shouldn't be positive, but it goes to show how, despite my negative views of this level and others, the music of A Hat in Time and Seal the Deal is fantastic. Anyways, back to wrapping up everything in a nice little bow called Seal the Deal and the final level to this monster of an update. The objective is as follows. Defeat all the EX versions of every boss you fought, minus the toilet, except for Snatcher, who is now extra buffed with added attacks from the previous bosses. If you watched my Seal the Deal but with a pinch of salt video, I was very... how do you say it? Salty. Fuck you! Damn it! Fuck you! But in all honesty, despite my pure vinegar for this level, I do think this is up there with one of my favorite Death Wishes. And while the word I'm about to use has been driven into the ground with a meter-long steel pipe, it was an epic finale to the challenge mode that, despite its ups and downs, I really enjoyed. Would I recommend Seal the Deal though? Well, yes and no. If you haven't already, I highly recommend playing the base game first, as it's one of my favorite games of the past few years. If you enjoy the game and are interested in something just a teeny weeny bit more challenging, I'd look into it. If you're not into that and are just interested in the Arctic cruise, then I would advise against it. The new chapter just isn't worth the time due to how lackluster it was for me, and I can only recommend Seal the Deal if you're interested in Death Wish. All in all, I'd say it was a fun experience. Okay, but from a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being a massive poo-poo dumpster fire, and 10 being the bee's knees, what would you give it? I'm not a huge fan of giving out number scores. I see. You're one of those special ones who do the 1 to 5. What? No, I just said I don't do numbers.
Okay, but 4 to 1.
Fuck off.
A yay or a nay, a thumbs up or thumbs down, happy face or sad face, an A, B, C, D, or E, because I give you an F. I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, you're being pretty obnoxious right now.
No, I'm talking about the 5,000-worded essay you just went over. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. It sounds like you're a little baby who needed his bottle.
Can you please leave?
I'm forever a door. I can't leave. Hey, by the way, you mentioned at some point a second thing, right?
Yeah, the word I don't know how to pronounce, Metro? What about it?
It was released 2 days ago.